one. I would grant for those 2 hours back. I would wish to go right back to that one moment where I had the knife in my hand and I would have taken his life.
Nobody did anything wrong or deserved to have this happen to them. Yeah, the community must think I'm some kind of monster.
It was like being married to the Antichrist. There's one thing in acting evil, but it's another thing to be completely born evil. And I think he was born evil from the egg. The first time we met, it was just by chance. I had met Edward Allen Covington in a bar in 1993. I was bartending at the time. He was just very polite and very kind. We had a very strong connection, but I was in a relationship with somebody, and I didn't see Eddie for a very long time. All of a sudden, 7 years later, he just walked right back into my bar. I did a double take and looked at him again, and it clicked who he was. My whole body just got butterflies almost.
Holy crap. Eddie? Is that you?
Sherry. Wow.
And with no warning, nothing, I jumped in his arms. He knew exactly who I was. And we just hugged for the longest time. We never quit talking. Like, we just picked up where we left off. And it was like puzzle pieces fitting together in a puzzle.
Come, let me get you a drink.
Okay.
I thought maybe God's trying to give me a sign. Here's your second chance.
Cheers.
What I know now to what I knew back then, I wish that relationships came with warnings like medicine does on a box. I'm at work one night. They had like a little back room for their waitresses and bartenders and stuff to use to get ready.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey.
There's something I want to talk to you about.
And my friend, for some reason, she just turned around and told me, look, I don't like Eddie. Something's not right.
There's just something about him. You know, there's something wrong in his eyes. What are you talking about?
And I looked at her and I was like, what do you mean? She goes, something just don't feel right. Just something about him. It is almost like she could see his true self.
I don't think moving in together was a good idea.
I had been dating him for a little bit now. You know, we were living together. Everything seemed to be going okay. She said that if I stayed with him, it was not gonna be good.
I don't think you guys should be serious.
But he came from a good family. He had a great job. He was a correctional officer in the prison. He was such a fun and bright person. You know, he had a spark in his eye that made me feel real special.
Why can't you just let me enjoy this?
I chalked it up to her just being jealous that I was gonna be happy.
You want me to be miserable? That it?
I'm sorry, I don't want to see you get hurt.
Over the years, I've kicked myself in the butt so many times, remembering that conversation me and her had. My life would have really been a lot different if I would have listened to her. Before Eddie and I had met, I had gotten into some trouble with the law. I got a felony drug charge. I was waiting for my conviction. Eddie was a correctional officer, so Eddie came to me and explained to me that if me and him did not get married, that we could not see each other anymore. But if we get married before my conviction, there's nothing they could do about it. I really did not want to get married.
Maybe we're rushing into this.
No.
We really wasn't together that long, really. You know, just not even a year. And he kept pushing.
It'll be okay. Hey, just take a deep breath.
He goes, well, if you love me, you'll marry me. Because it has to be done this way.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Him and I were down at the county courthouse getting married. I'm trying to be very happy, you know, but I just had this nagging feeling. Something was trying to tell me don't do it, and it was in the pit of my stomach. I really felt like I was gonna get sick.
Sherry, do you take Edward to be your husband?
I didn't answer. He asked me again.
I'm sorry, I'm not feeling very well.
I told him I needed a minute. It was like everything was going in slow-mo. Every fiber of my being was telling me, don't do this, don't do this, this is gonna be bad, don't do this.
Can you give us a moment?
I told Eddie I wasn't feeling sure about it, and he said, well, it's just cold feet. It'll be okay. One of the things he told me is, I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. I love you with my whole being as you love me with your whole being.
I promise. Everything is going to be fine. You'll see.
And part of my heart was still saying, it's all in your head. Just, you're overthinking this. It's going to be fine. He's the perfect guy.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what really got me to calm down and to actually say it.
Do you take Edward to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
People say that you should always trust your instincts and your gut feelings, because 9 times out of 10, your gut feeling is going to be honest with you. And that's a very true statement. The minute I said I do, my life changed for the rest of my life. That was the beginning of the end for me. One night, Eddie and I was laying in bed, or we were watching a movie or something, and there's a Russian roulette scene. And the people were passing the gun around, and he just jokingly said that he had held a gun up to his sister's head.
Come on, that never happened.
I started laughing, chuckling, because I was like, man, you didn't do that. There's no way you did that. And he's like, no, it really happened. But he was a teenager. He was like 15 years old. He threw her up against the wall, held her by her neck, and put a gun up to her head and told her he would put a bullet in her head. I seriously thought it was a joke. I did not believe him. You can't be that demented to pull a gun on your family on blood. Nobody's that crazy.
Oh, please, like you would never do that to your own sister.
You should ask her.
I just dropped it and never talked about it again until him and his sister were talking about it one time. Eddie was like, hey, do you remember that time when we were teenagers, I put a gun up to your head? And she said, yeah, and she was not laughing. So I knew then that that was serious. that's when I had that big sinking feeling saying, what have I done?
There's a few incidents that happened between you and Sherry.
And she broke my nose.
Where the cops were called.
Swear to God, I may have done a lot of things in my life, but I could never put my hands on a woman. I could never hit Sherry.
In the beginning, he didn't hit me. And I didn't see him get violent with women. I didn't see him get violent at all.
You stupid bitch.
One day, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something set him off that I did. And he hit me in my jaw. And then he punched me in the eye. I swear to God, his eyes turned black when he would get angry.
Eddie, stop, please.
In a half of a second, he changed that quick. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen that much anger in somebody so fast. I said, I'm calling the cops.
No, I'm not gonna let you keep doing this to me.
He laughed at me. He would always tell me, you can call the cops, but they're not gonna believe you.
Go ahead. Let's see who they listen to.
They know me and my dad. They're not gonna do anything to me. And they didn't. His father used to work for the same law enforcement agency. And he flashed his badge.
So you guys probably know my old man, right?
Covington? Yeah, sure.
I thought so.
He told them that I cut the back of his head. Not a mark on him. Not one mark.
And then she just starts swinging.
I did not. He is lying. I never touched him. Look at what he did to me.
I've already got a bruise on my jaw. I've got a black eye, and you can tell that it is fresh. And they didn't believe me because I was a convicted felon and he was a correctional officer. They told me to turn around and put my hands behind my back. And they put me in handcuffs.
Ma'am, hands behind your back, please.
What are you doing? Are you serious? Are you?
They arrested me on the spot for domestic violence, saying I hit a law enforcement officer and take me to jail.
He is not a cop. He is a prison guard. Are you serious?
He actually chuckled with me in handcuffs, and he said, I told you.
No.
After that, I had no way out, because every time I tried to leave, every time, he would start a fight, black my eye, break my arm, and call the cops and have me arrested for domestic violence. He never had a mark on his body that came from me. But who are they gonna believe, a correctional officer or convicted drug felon? It really hurt me the most when my family didn't believe me. You expect that from the cops, not from family. There was one time he hit me. I'm trying to ice it down, trying to keep the swelling down. And I'm talking to my mom.
I think I want to come stay with you for a few days.
I was on the phone with her and he told me to get off. And of course I did.
Give me the phone.
Because I didn't want my other side busted.
Hey, sorry.
And he's telling my mom that I did it myself. And I'm threatening to call the cops on him and tell him that he beat me.
Sherry's been out of control recently. You know I'd never do a thing like that.
He'd sit there and go, well, you know how she is. She's crazy. It's all in her head. She did that to herself. She's just doing this to get attention. She's lashing out at me, trying to get me in trouble for something I didn't do.
Why? What's the matter?
And I can hear her saying, well, you know how she is, Eddie.
I'm not surprised. She's always causing trouble.
Yeah, she could be a handful.
He had my mom 100% believing I was the aggressor and I was the crazy one. I was crying, and it wasn't from being hit. I was crying because my heart was breaking as I heard her agree with him.
I'm sorry, Eddie.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
He was a master manipulator. I had nobody to turn to. The cops didn't believe me. My family didn't believe me. My friends didn't believe me. I had nowhere to go. He knew that he could do literally anything he wanted to me and get away with it. Sexual desires became so much more demeaning. He loved to have people watch him have sex. And he was also bisexual. There was a swingers club out in Brandon, Florida. Eddie asked me to have a threesome with another man.
Come on, let's go back. He's waiting for us.
It scared me. I did not want to do it at all.
Do we really have to do this?
I couldn't believe that he even took me there. But he said, Sherry, you say you love me so much and you would do anything for me. Well, I want this to happen. And if you let me, you'll do it.
Oh, so you'd rather be selfish than make me happy?
I thought to myself, well, if you loved me, why are you making me do this? And he had made it very, very clear to me that if I did not do it and we left, he was not even gonna wait until we got home. He was just gonna pull into a dark parking lot and beat me.
You know what? We can stay. We can. Let me just get another drink first, okay?
He just liked to see me suffer. He liked to see the pain go across my face. He thrived on it. To see exactly how far he could push me. The only way to get out of that situation was to make myself get physically ill.
Okay, let's go.
What I did is I went up to the bar and I bought a shot of tequila because I do not like tequila. And I chugged it and it made me nauseous and made me want to get sick. I got very sick to where I did not have to do it. And we left, but he still ended up hitting me that night. I'd rather deal with that than to deal with having to give a part of me to somebody I did not know. Bruises and beatings heal, but your self-pride and self-respect is all you have. And if you cannot protect that, then you're completely gone.
I'm so sorry. This is not me. I don't know what happened. I can't put my finger on what happened, but it's been a progression on down a spiral that I couldn't get help with. It was a time bomb waiting to explode, and it blew up.
I tried to leave him a couple of times, and he threatened to kill me. He told me he would break into wherever I was, he would find me, and he would kill me. One time, something set him off that I did. He blacked my eye. Again, he called the cops. I left before the cops got there. And I called my friend, and I went to her house. I was looking out the window. He finally figured out where I went. He would pull up, and he would not even be secretive about it. He would literally pull right in front of their yard or across the street, and you could see him. He did not try to hide it. And he would sit there and watch the whole time I would be there. And he blew my phone up every 5 to 15 minutes non-stop. He goes, I know you're there. I seen you in the window. I'm shaking. I thought he was gonna come into our house and hurt me because it was just me and her there. There was nobody else there. He could really hurt both of us. And I didn't want that to happen to her. So I went out her back door. I literally hopped a fence. I'm looking over my shoulder. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's gonna hear me. He's gonna see me or something, you know. He never did. I hopped the fence and I went home, and he sat in front of her house for 2 days and did not move from the parking spot. He was angry at me for that because he did not know how I got out of that house. He thought that he had fell asleep and I snuck out. He goes, why wouldn't you just get in the car? I was only there to protect you, to make sure you made it home okay. Not only did I know that I couldn't leave, but I also knew that he was never gonna let me leave. The beatings were getting bad. I knew the next time that he got me under his fist, he was never gonna stop. I told him I was done. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the abuse. I said, I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving. And I did. I packed several bags, and I had a couple of friends that helped me get away. They all helped me pull my stuff out. I knew that he wasn't gonna beat me up going out the door because my friends were there, because they could witness everything. And I told Eddie, I'll be back to get the cats. And he goes, fine.
You sure you want to do this?
I am.
I knew when I left there, I said, something's gonna happen tonight. And my friend said, you're crazy, nothing's gonna happen. I went to work that day, and I wasn't there but 2 hours maybe. And then I get a call from Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on my cell phone. And the cop said, well, we just had to break into your home, bust the door down, and Eddie is in ICU at St. Joseph's Hospital.
God, is he okay?
I said, what happened? And they said he OD'd.
Wait, what?
They said he was flailing in the middle of the floor, screaming, I just took a handful of pills and I drank a bottle of alcohol.
This does not sound like Eddie.
I knew him better than that. Something in me told me that something else happened. And that's when the cops said, how many cats did you have? And when he asked me that, it clicked. I knew immediately what had happened. I said, how many of my cats are dead? He goes, ma'am, we don't know because you can't even count them. There's parts all over the place. He dismembered them completely.
He did what to them?
I was so devastated. It shattered me. You can't explain that away. The only way you can do that is to, like he did, fake a suicide and drew all that attention from what he did to my animals onto him because everybody was so worried that he was going to die.
Are you okay?
The cops forgot about the cats. There was never even a police report on it.
I have to go.
That was his only way to make a point to me. This is what I am capable of, and if you do not fall in line, this is what's gonna happen to you. I woke up one day, and it was my birthday. I noticed that there was an orchid sitting right by the bed, and there was no note, no nothing. And I picked the orchid up, and I walked into my mom's room.
Mom, this is beautiful. Thank you.
And she looked at me, she says, I didn't get you an orchid.
That's not for me.
I don't understand. It was right next to my bed.
My whole body tensed up. I said, well, if you didn't get it for me, where'd it come from? I immediately dropped the orchid and it crashed to the ground because I knew it was Eddie. In that moment, I realized that Eddie had been sneaking into the house while I slept at night. He did it only to let me know that there is nothing I was gonna be able to do to keep him away from me. He will always be able to get to me. And if he can get in there and do that, what else can he do?
Bothers you bad, the whole divorce thing, does it? What part of that divorce is what bothers you the most? Is it the fact that it didn't work?
Being divorced, yeah. Because as much as me and Sheree fought, I loved her to death.
Mm-hmm.
He had been given a protection order to stay away from me. The locks got changed on the door a couple of times, but it didn't matter. He was gonna do and keep doing what he wanted to do. One night I woke up to hear my mom screaming.
Get out! What are you doing here?
I shot up out of bed and I looked up and he was standing, an arm length away from me.
It's okay.
Eddie, get out! Don't belong in this house.
And she's screaming, Eddie, how did you get in my house? How did you get in here? What are you doing here? And he goes, I was worried. I hadn't heard from her. I was worried about her because nobody's answering my calls. He says, I just wanted to make sure you're okay because I love you. I always want you to know I'm always thinking about you, wondering what you're doing and if you're okay. My mom knew that was a lie. My mom knew right then and there how much trouble I was in.
Get out! Right now!
He's like, I want us to work our lives out. I want us to make our marriage work.
I am not giving up on us.
And he goes, oh, there's this woman I'm living with. We're roommates. He goes, she is so overbearing. She's just too much. She suffocates me. I don't know how to get rid of her or her kids. He goes, I wish I could just get rid of them. That was the first time I heard the name Lisa.
I am calling the cops, Eddie.
My mom was grabbing the phone to call the cops. He would get this smile on his face that was so evil. He had accomplished terrorizing me. He loved it. And he calmly turned around and walked out the door. Didn't say sorry, didn't say nothing. The cops came out, and their exact words to me and my family was, "He's not here now. There's nothing we can do. It's your word against his." There was one night, my friend dropped me off, and as he was pulling out, Eddie comes racing up my mom's street.
Hey, Mom.
Sherry.
What the hell's going on here? Who was that?
Eddie.
He just starts going off. "Who are you with? Who is that guy? Why are you in that car?" I said, "It's nothing. He's just a friend." All of a sudden, he pulls out his father's service revolver and starts pointing it at me and my mom.
Eddie,
He goes, "I could take you out right here, and there ain't nothing anybody's gonna do." And then he pointed at my mom. He goes, "After I'm done with you, I'm gonna take her out. I'm gonna take your mom out as well."
don't.
He called the cops. He had 911 on the phone saying, "She's hitting me. Please hurry. She's hitting me."
Please send help right away.
What are you doing?
He gets to my doorway. He slams his nose into the door jamb. And I heard his nose. I heard pop. His nose started pouring down blood. He goes, "She won't stop hitting me. Make her stop. She won't stop hitting me." And he's banging his face into the door jamb.
She won't stop.
The cops get there. The cop comes up and starts talking to him
Sir, what's going on?
She hit me.
and says, "We hear that you pulled a gun out on this woman and her daughter. Is that true?" Eddie goes, "I don't know what they're talking about. I'm in law enforcement. I work in the prison system." He showed them that badge.
We didn't touch him. I came after
did that to himself. She's innocent.
Listen, I didn't.
And telling the cop, "I don't know why she keeps doing this. I try to be good to her. I'm trying to reconcile my differences with my wife, and she continuously treats me like this." God, he was good. I mean, he had them eating out the palm of his hand. I'm in the back seat, handcuffed. Eddie got to go home. Eddie went home after he gave a statement. As he was walking past me, he was flicking me off, gave me the bird, mouthing, "I told you. I told you." I had court orders to tell him to stay away, and he didn't follow it. He didn't have to. He knew he couldn't get away with it. The rules never applied to him. I sat in the back of a police car for almost 3 hours. My mom had to beg them to release me. I realized that he was willing to hurt anyone or anything in the process of keeping me. I told the cop that the next time he gets called out there, he is going to kill me. And the cop just said, "Don't worry about it. No, it's all in your head." Eddie would call me, I don't know, 30, 40 times a day. It was, "Why won't you talk to me? Can't we just be friends? I'm a changed man. I'm sorry. You just know how much I love you. I love you so much. It kills me not being able to see you. For that whole year, I probably went through 11 different numbers. Every time he called, my skin would cringe. It would feel like my skin was crawling and the hairs on my neck would start standing up every time he would call because I knew what was in store. I thought it was just a normal day. I started receiving numerous calls. 2 hours later, I got these 5 gentlemen walking in, 3 of them in suits, a couple of police officers. And they wanted to speak to me. I told the officers, I said, if this is about Eddie, I don't have time for it because I'm at work. Contact me after work. I thought he had contacted the police again and told them that I either hit him or I did something to him.
Whatever he told you I did this time, he's lying again.
The officer told me, ma'am, we really need to speak with you. It's important. And he told me that they had found 3 bodies and they could not identify what parts went where.
Listen, Eddie, we've got to talk about this. I know it's hard, all right? I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Come on, man.
Eddie had killed his girlfriend and her 2 kids. When the cops came in, they opened the door. The little girl's body was kind of barricading the door.
You hurt her the most? What did you do? What did you do to her? You cut her in half? Why?
They went further into the trailer. And he said, she's my roommate and I'm just trying to find a way to get rid of them. She just won't leave me alone, her and her kids. I'm trying to get rid of them.
She did nothing but love me.
She tried.
She just loved me.
Okay. Well, what happened?
Nothing. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
They had found Eddie in the daughter's closet. I think it was her closet. They had found him in there in his shorts, his boxer shorts or whatever he was wearing and nothing else. He was mumbling. He said, I finally killed Sherry. That bitch, she's finally dead. I was the one that he was seeing when he murdered his girlfriend and her 2 children.
Unless I was dreaming, I could have swore I called my ex-wife.
Why would you have called her?
I don't know.
And it just kills me.
This wasn't supposed to happen. This was not supposed to happen.
I don't agree with that decision. With all the pain and suffering that he has caused, death is absolutely too easy for him. He needs to be in there for life without parole because he's 48 years old. So he still has a lot of life left. death is so final. He will never have to suffer or live with what he has done. But I would attend his execution 100%. Because then I want him to look me in my eye. I want him to see how much stronger I am today than what I was from the time that he met me. I want him to see how I'm not scared of him anymore. I know he can't hurt me anymore. He can't hurt anybody anymore. Ever again. Today.
This is the gun that Edward used to shoot my mom. But Edward had every intention to get this gun to kill my entire family. I don't think my mom saw the person that he was. She may have just seen the person that she wanted him to be.
A guy came with, he had a gun, so my husband, and he shot her.
It's heartbreaking to hear my mom say that that's my husband. To know the person that you loved and were supposed to spend the rest of your life with tried to end your life. It's a hard pill to swallow. That's a picture of my brother, Edward, and myself. I was actually getting ready to go to a 6th grade dance. It's very hard to look at pictures of him because I would never imagine the person in this picture would do something like that to us. If I could, I would erase Edward from this picture. I never felt comfortable being close to him. You can see in my body language and in my hands and in my smile that I wasn't comfortable being there. There is a gap between us. That was an unconscious decision to have that space. It felt comfortable to keep that space in between us. My mom's name is Yolanda. She was my entire world. We would go on dinner dates. It would be me and her. We would have like little karaoke sessions in the house. She was my best friend. When my mom met Edward, I believe I was 6 or 7. They would go on dates and he would be at the house all the time. When she brought Edward around, it was definitely a big deal because I've never met anyone else that she had dated previously. If I could go back in time, I would tell my mom to run. I remember one day Edward promised to take me on a picnic.
Hey.
And it was supposed to be me and my mom and him, and we were gonna have such a great time. As a little kid, promises mean a lot.
I'm ready.
I was excited to go on the picnic, but every time I asked to go on the picnic, he would say that he was busy or he had something to do. One day, when I asked, and he got angry.
Not today.
But you always say that.
He frowns his face, and that terrifies me. He just walked away. He couldn't give me a straight answer. He got my hopes up, and he never took me. To have an adult promise you something and not come through, it's kind of disappointing. I seen Edward's true colors from the beginning, and he was just really good at masking that from my mom. So I do think he was putting a show on for my mom. My mom was excited to be pregnant. I was super excited. I was finally not gonna be the only child. Edward moved in when my mom was still pregnant. And during that time, it was uncomfortable. The relationship between me and my mom was changing. It didn't feel like he tried to involve me in their relationship. A lot of the things that they did, it was him and her. Felt like he was taking my best friend. You almost feel erased. Edward was very manipulative. He stepped in the way he did intentionally to come between me and my mom. It was definitely Edward's way of isolating my mom from me and from my family as well. Growing up with Edward in the house, he made like specific rules. Family weren't allowed in specific rooms. No one could sit in his specific chair. He was very controlling in his nature. At one point in time, it became my job to iron all of Edward's work uniforms. We had a laundry basket specifically for his work uniforms, and I was expected to iron his shirts and his pants a specific way, put them on a hanger, and hang them in a specific closet for him. Edward had a specific crease in his pants and in his shirts that he liked, that he expected me to do. It easily took over an hour. And if he found one that he didn't specifically like how I ironed, he would get angry.
What is this?
He would call me stupid. He would say that I'm dumb.
Do it again.
And I would have to go back and do all of the uniforms over. As a little girl, it makes you feel very low. It kind of breaks your self-confidence.
All right.
He loved having control and making me suffer. I didn't want to be around him, and I didn't want to hear those things about myself. So even if that meant staying away from my mom, because him and my mom were in the same room, I would stay in my room. It does bother me that he used to say those things to me and about me, to the point that I still do therapy. My mom was very passive in the relationship with Edward. She wouldn't tell me to do those things, but she allowed him to tell me to do those things, and she allowed him to set the rules of the house. I think that she saw a specific version of Edward, and that's who she wanted to believe that he was, to the point where she couldn't see the bad that he was doing. I had a cockatiel named Tweety. We had Tweety before she met Edward. When you would walk in the house, we would open the door and we would say, Tweety, and he would go, pretty bird, pretty bird. We would take Tweety out of the cage and he would sit on your shoulder. Once Edward moved in, I can't recall us letting Tweety out. It was more so Tweety stayed in his cage. One day, me and my mom came home. Edward was home when we came. He was actually in their bedroom.
Sweetie?
And the rest of the house was dark.
Sweetie?
So we opened the door and I said, Tweety, and I didn't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe he sleep or maybe he didn't hear me. So I say it again before we fully get in the house to turn on the lights. I didn't hear anything. And I put my book bag down and I take my coat off and I turned on my lights and Tweety's laying at the bottom of his cage. And I'm like, I want to bury Tweety. That was my first pet. Burying him seemed ideal so that way I could have somewhere to go back and visit him.
Give him here. I'll put him in a box.
He just kind of looks over and he's like, I'll go bury him. I'll bury him for you, no problem. Edward said he buried Tweety while I was at school. When I asked where Tweety was buried, he said his sister's house. Years later, I found out that he didn't actually bury Tweety. He threw Tweety in the trash. I'm absolutely certain that Edward killed Tweety. It seemed like he wanted to only be the only good thing in my mom's life. You have to be a broken person to want to hurt a kid in that kind of way. When I was about 12 or 13, Edward grounded me for an entire year. When I was punished, it meant no phone, no going outside, no riding bikes. I couldn't do anything extra. So it was coming straight home from school and coming in the house and doing homework, and that's it. During that time, a lot of my friends were like going to the movies and hanging out. Again, that's the age where you start to build those tighter friendship connections. And I'm just like, what did I do? But to be locked in the house and see the kids outside the park across the street having fun, it feels like prison. I think that he took pleasure in knowing that he controlled that punishment. We went to kind of visit some relatives. It was nothing out of the ordinary until the day we were expected to leave. I had a class at 8 o'clock the next morning. So the plan was we were supposed to get on the road by a specific time so that way they could drop me off at school. And it was super late at night. He was angry because he was tired. The car ride coming back home was really quiet. Typically, they would like play music and kind of sing along to the songs on the radio or put in a CD, and it was none of that. They're not talking at all, which was very strange for us. Growing up, they never argued in front of us, so that space was very awkward to be in. It was tense and heavy. It was like yelling, but you could tell the tone that they were angry. And the argument was about taking me back to school.
I believe we gotta drive back overnight.
And my mom is like, well, we told her we would take her back. Like, it's not our fault that she woke up late. You wanted to sleep. You said you were tired, so we let you sleep. My mom is just like, we have to take her back to school. And he stops responding, and he just like grips the steering wheel. I felt like in that moment, he felt that he lost control because my mom put her foot down. You can see that he's angry. His face scrunches up and his nose flares and like his lip goes up. He floors the gas on the highway. We're going maybe 80 to 90 miles and he's like swerving. My mom is turned towards him and she's like, my kids are in the car, like you need to stop. And during that time, he doesn't respond. That was a side of Edward that I've never seen before, and it was terrifying. He didn't drop me off at school. He actually went to our house. He pulled up in the driveway. He angrily threw the car in park and jumped out of the car and walked into the house. That's the first time that I know of that she stood up to him. And that's the incident that changed everything. After that incident, nothing was the same. I was actually back at school. I want to say it was maybe 7 or 8 o'clock. I get this call from my aunt, and it was my brother on the phone, and he's crying. He was telling me that we were going to be okay. We were going to find a house. Everybody's going to be okay. I'm very confused. When he's saying all of this stuff, the big sister in me is just like, I just need to get him to calm down. He finally gives the phone to my aunt. And my aunt is just like, he hit your mom. And at that moment, it feels like everything stopped. I never imagined that happening. And you're just stuck. Because in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how we got to this point. And it's just like, what happened? I finally got to talk to my mom about the situation. And she had told me that night, her and my brother came home. They go in the house, and she said Edward is just like trying to start an argument.
You know what time it is?
He's just like, where have you been? And you had my son out all hours of the night. You should have been home. And he acts like he's going to throw the remote control at her. And she jumps. And he says, oh, I got you scared. I think that was one of them power moves that, again, he likes to play. So it's, I have control. If I throw this, then you're gonna duck. And you're scared of me now, so I'm in control. She went and grabbed her pillow because she was just gonna go sleep in Arthur's room. As she was trying to leave out of the room, he basically pounced on her, knocked her over the ottoman, and started hitting her. Arthur pulls out his phone and calls the police. Edward realizes that Arthur's calling the police, and he gets off of my mom and looks at Arthur. And my mom immediately jumps up and she's like, "If you touch him, I'll kill you."
If you touch that boy, you a dead man.
And that's when he walks out of the house. When I was a kid, it was always stressed that you don't put your hands on someone. If someone puts their hands on you, you leave. Like, it's no second, third, I'm sorry. It's none of that. It's you leave because it's not safe. And she's always stressed if they did it once, then they'll probably do it again. It was hard to hear my mom tell this horrific story to me over the phone. Like, it almost seemed surreal. I wouldn't have imagined anything like that ever happening. I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm worried. I could tell she was crying. She was like, "Don't worry, we had everything figured out." When she told me that, I felt relieved because she was finally getting away. Like, she finally had had enough. Like, that was her last straw. My mom filed and was granted a restraining order against Edward. So I knew my mom was leaving, and I thought that that was the end of it. My mom was granted a restraining order, and in that restraining order, Edward was supposed to stay away from my mom, Arthur, and myself. Even though the restraining order told him to not contact anyone within the family, Edward would still call my aunts. He would still go past family members' houses and try to plead with them to get my mom to talk to him. I would say he was stalking her. It was one instance in particular where my mom had a doctor's appointment. And when my mom came out of the doctor's appointment, he had left a letter on her windshield of her car. When my mom seen the note on her car, she was scared. It is scary to think that he followed my mom, because if he knew where she was at the doctor's office, then I would think that Edward knew where she was staying at. Finding out that he left a note on my mom's car made me angry. I knew that he was violating this restraining order. My mom had actually told the judges and told her lawyers that Edward was breaking this restraining order, and they didn't do anything about it. They should have locked him up, but they didn't. In this situation, my mom did everything that she was supposed to by law to protect herself and us, and bad things still happened. It would have definitely been different if they had actually listened to my mom. Edward was allowed supervised visitation with Arthur one Sunday every week. The visitation between Edward and my brother took place at a domestic violence shelter. The place was chosen by the court because it was a neutral ground. My mom could drop Arthur off at the visitation center without having any interaction with Edward. So the plan for Mother's Day that morning, my mom was supposed to pick me up. I was gonna ride with her to drop Arthur off at his visitation that morning. And then once she dropped Arthur off, we were supposed to go back to my aunt's house and just enjoy brunch. My mom calls me that morning and she's like, "Are you still riding with me?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm too tired." I was like, "I'm just gonna sleep in." May have been an hour. I get a phone call from my aunt. I picked up the phone and she's yelling. She's like, "Don't brush your teeth, don't jump in the shower, don't do anything, just get dressed." She's like, "Just go get in the car." So I immediately jump out of the bed and I'm like trying to throw on clothes and I'm running, trying to put on my shoes. And I'm like, what's happening? I get into the backseat of the car, I'm out of breath and I'm like, what is happening? And she turns around and she's crying and she said that Edward shot your mom. Need a second. That's the Mother's Day card that they found with the bullet hole in it. The message that he put in the card said, "Love, boo." That's not even close to love. That's almost like you hate someone. Edward was willing to take my mother's life and attempted to take my brother's life because he didn't want to see them happy. This is the perfect example of, I love you, but I hate that I can't have you. I can't look at it anymore. I didn't know if she was alive. It was like everything had crumbled from beneath me. I don't think it's any words to describe that feeling. I don't think I've ever felt hurt as much as I did that day. I couldn't think, I couldn't process. It almost felt like I couldn't even breathe. And then something in me realized that my brother was there. I'm like, what happened to Arthur? Like, where's my brother? Is he okay? And nobody could give me an answer. I didn't learn the details until we got to the hospital. Her time was up.
It's over.
And that's when he pulled out a gun and he tried to shoot my brother. But my mom pushed my brother out of the way and she got shot. He wanted my mother to see her son die first. And Edward tries to shoot my mom 3 to 4 more times, but the gun jams. My brother runs to the van where my aunt is parked at, and Arthur's on the phone with the police, and he points the gun at the car and yells at my aunt, "I'ma kill you, B," and tries to shoot at the van, and the bullet ricochets off the windshield. And he runs back up the hill, and he disappears. Not even in my wildest dreams would I had thought that he would have done something like that. And hear that Arthur's panicking. I don't ever want to hear anything like that ever again. From my brother or anyone else's child. It's difficult to picture that entire situation in my head. That's not something that anyone should imagine or have to ever think about. But this nightmare was my life. And Edward was the one who made this a nightmare. Since that day, Arthur has put on this shell, and he feels that he has to be the strong one. Before this, he was able to be a child. And after witnessing all of this, he wasn't able to be a child anymore. My mom had arrived at the hospital, and they had taken her back for CT scans to see how bad the damage was. And I went back to see her. And she had her eyes closed. And I'm like, "Mom, are you okay? Are you okay?" And she opens her eyes. And she's like, "I'm fine. I'll be okay if they could just make the pain stop." Walking in there and seeing her alive was like a sigh of relief. But we obviously knew that it had done some damage. And they were also telling us that the bullet didn't come out. I just held her hand and crying and telling her I love her. And then they said they had to take her to surgery. And when they wheeled her away, I didn't know if that was the last time I would see my mom. The last time I was here was before the shooting. I try my best to not ever come around to this area. It just brings back too many memories. It's just a really hard pill to swallow, knowing that my entire world changed in front of this place. I want to be able to air those wounds out, to be able to heal. Yikes. to be here and, again, see this sign. This is domestic violence awareness, and it's sickening to know that, again, this was supposed to be a safe space, and my mom almost lost her life at this safe space.
The actual shooting, where did that transpire?
Right here. To look at the spot and be where Edward tried to take my mother's life, it's just, you don't have the words. My mom was in surgery. To me, it feels like forever. But I want to say it could have been anywhere between 5 to 6 hours. Every time we seen a doctor come out, my heart stopped. It's sickening. It's gut-wrenching. When the surgery's finally done, I walked into the room and my mom is just laying there, and it's all these wires and machines and a lot of beeping, and she's just stretched out on the bed. If I didn't know that that was my mom, I wouldn't be able to recognize her. That is one of the images that haunts me the most. And I didn't care if she could, but I wanted her to know that I was there. And I wanted her to know that I love you, Arthur. I love Dion. At the time, she was still intubated, so she couldn't speak. We were surprised that she was even able to write this 8 days after being shot. It's no means that my mom hurt us. I can't look at that. And I know exactly what that picture is. It's his mugshot, and it almost looks like he's smiling. And it makes me so angry because it's almost like he enjoyed what he did. And I can't stomach looking at his face. If there was anything lower than hell, is where Edward should be. My mom was so lucky that day. And my family we always talk about how we believe that the angels of our family that had passed away were the ones who saved my mom, because Edward tried to shoot my mother 4 times after the initial first shot. And those 4 angels were my grandmother, my grandfather, my great-grandmother, and my great-grandfather. And they made sure that my mom didn't sustain any additional harm. And my mom is one of the strongest people I know. And she put up one hell of a fight. My mom literally took a bullet for my brother. And my mom would do anything to protect us. My mom is a hero, and she's my hero.
For a long time, I thought I might die there. Not from violence, but from quiet. But the sun rose anyway, washing the mural in gold. People passed by without stopping. No cameras, no applause. Just ordinary eyes catching a glimpse of color. And maybe, for a second, they listened. That was the moment I understood what Father Miguel meant when he said, "Stop using the church as your enemy when you really fear yourself." I wasn't rebelling against God. I was rebelling against silence. The silence of my own heart that refused to listen to its better voice. The city didn't forget my name. It simply outgrew it. And maybe that's what salvation really is, being forgotten enough to start again. The first time someone prayed under my last mural, I almost didn't notice. It was a woman in a faded dress, kneeling near the hand I'd painted rising from the water. She wasn't praying to it, just beside it. Her voice was low, tired, the kind of prayer that sounds like breathing. I wanted to tell her I wasn't a believer anymore, that this wall wasn't holy, that the word Amen wasn't a sermon, it was an apology. But I didn't, because the moment felt truer than anything I'd said in years. And truth doesn't need correction. She left a candle at the base of the wall. By nightfall, there were 5. By morning, 15. The city had turned my confession into a shrine. It started small, a boy leaving flowers, a street vendor whispering thanks before work, a woman touching the painted water as if it could cool her grief. No cameras, no speeches, no posts. Just people bringing silence to color. And in that silence, something inside me started to move again, slowly, painfully, like a heart remembering how to beat. A few weeks later, Father Miguel found me. I was sitting on the church steps, watching people come and go. He looked older, thinner, but his eyes still carried that quiet light, the kind that didn't burn, only revealed. "I heard you're painting again," he said. I nodded. For myself. He smiled. That's where prayer usually begins. We sat for a while, not talking. Sometimes silence between believers and unbelievers is the only honest form of worship left. Then he said, "You know they're calling it O Muro do Perdão, the Wall of Forgiveness." I laughed under my breath. Forgiveness for what? He looked at me gently. Does it matter? Every wall that listens is a little piece of mercy. That night, I walked through the city. The streets were quieter now, the election over, the noise gone. Posters peeled, slogans faded, murals drowned in dust. I passed old pieces of mine, ghosts of who I used to be. Some cracked, some painted over, some untouched, still breathing. Each one felt like a verse from a gospel I never meant to write. At one corner, I found the blindfolded priest I'd painted years ago, the one that started it all. Someone had scratched through the blindfold, revealing the eyes beneath. They weren't mine anymore. They looked at me like they knew the ending. That night, I couldn't sleep. I took my notebook, the one where I used to sketch ideas for walls, and instead, I started writing. Not slogans, not sermons, just small truths, one per page. I wanted to be heard, not understood. I mistook rebellion for purpose. I used faith to make noise and noise to hide fear. The city was never my enemy. It was my reflection. I kept writing until dawn. By the end, my hand hurt, and the pages were wet from something I refused to call tears. Days passed. Word spread that the diocese wanted to paint over the wall. Some said it violated zoning codes. Others said it disrupted the spiritual uniformity of the street. Activists protested. Reporters returned. And just like that, the noise came back. One morning, I arrived to find a small crowd arguing with workers carrying paint buckets. They shouted, pleaded, recorded everything on their phones. In the middle of the chaos, the woman who first prayed under the wall stood silently, holding a candle that had melted down to its base. I walked up to the workers. "I painted it," I said. They looked at each other. "So you're the one we're covering." I nodded. "Then give the order," one of them said. "We're just doing our job." I looked at the wall, the word Amen glowing faintly under the gray morning light. It didn't belong to me anymore. It belonged to everyone who had touched it, prayed by it, believed in it. And yet it began as my confession, my failure, my rebirth. So I said softly, "Let it go." They hesitated. The woman with the candle whispered, "Please, no." But I shook my head. Forgiveness isn't something you preserve. It's something you release. The first stroke of gray rolled over the hand reaching from the water, then the church outline, then the word. When the last letter vanished, I turned away. I walked until my feet hurt, until the city lost its edges. Every wall looked the same, blank, waiting. And I realized something I had never understood before. It wasn't the painting that had saved me. It was the erasing. All my life, I thought rebellion meant leaving marks that couldn't be forgotten. But maybe redemption is learning to let your marks fade, so others can paint their truth where yours used to be. That night, I went back one last time. The wall was clean, smooth, pale in the streetlight. Someone had placed a single candle in front of it. No name, no paint, no message. Just light and quiet. I touched the wall. It was still damp. And for a moment, I felt it breathe. Not with holiness, not with pride, but with peace. "Obrigado," I whispered. "Thank you." Not to God, not to the church, not even to the city. To the silence itself, the kind that no longer needed me to fill it. I walked away without looking back, but in my pocket I carried the last page of my notebook, the only one I didn't tear out. It said, "Art is only holy when it stops needing an audience." The next